My name is Everett Taylor. I work here in the Division of Water Rights in our dam safety and stream alteration section. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you briefly about what our section does. So while I'll try to keep my references to code and law minimal today, Utah Code 73-5A and Administrative Rules R655 10 through 12 are what really govern dam safety in the state of Utah. The statute gives the state engineer authority to regulate dams for the purpose of protecting life and property in the state, as well as to make rules for the regulation of dams. So our administrative rules cover the design, maintenance, repair, removal, and abandonment. Let me just flip that of dams. They also include direction for developing standard operating plans, emergency action plans, and instrumentation monitoring and reporting, which we'll talk about. So if you would like to construct, enlarge, repair, alter, or abandon a dam, you'll need to contact our office and receive approval before starting your project. With regards to approval, there are a couple avenues. For new dams, when you're submitting plans, if your dam meets two criteria, if it's less than 20 acre-feet and does not pose a threat to human life, we have or allow a simplified application process, which consists of a 2-page application and some required drawings. However, if your project or your dam does not meet both of those criteria, then we will require you to submit design reports, drawings, and specifications, which we will review and then either issue comment or approval on those. Those two processes really apply to the design of dams. If you're looking to repair or alter, enlarge, we will typically just have you submit design reports, drawings, and specifications for our review. We are allowed 90 days to respond on those submittals, but we generally are much quicker than that. With regard to who prepares those, plans need to be prepared by an engineer licensed in the state of Utah and who has experience in dam design and construction. Most often, our office will be involved during construction. This will include inspections of the work and review of the engineer's reports and testing results. Engineers overseeing construction are required to submit weekly construction reports to our office that contain both their observations and those testing results. Operating dams are inspected by our office based on their hazard rating. So a brief comment on hazard rating. It is not a statement of the condition of the dam, but rather the consequence of the failure or of a failure of the dam. So when we say high hazard dam, that doesn't necessarily indicate that the dam is in poor condition. It simply indicates that if the dam failed, people's lives would be threatened. So in general, we inspect high hazard dams annually. Moderate hazard dams are inspected every 2 years, and low hazard dams are inspected once every 5 years in general. During those inspections, we observe the condition of the dam and look for any changes in performance or operation. And following those inspections, we will issue a letter identifying the necessary maintenance that the owner is to address. Throughout the year, we expect to receive and monitor instrumentation data from our owners that we then review. This data provides additional information on the dam's performance. In particular, it gives us information on embankment and foundation pressures, as well as seepage rates through the dam. That instrumentation generally consists of either piezometers or drains, and generally both. So that concludes my brief discussion on dam safety. Are there any questions on that?
I don't see anything in the chat. Anybody have anything you'd like to ask about dam safety before Everett continues? Okay, I think you're good to go on.
All right, so let's talk about stream alterations briefly. The Stream Alteration Authority comes from Statute 73-3-29, which states that you may not relocate a natural stream channel or alter the bed and banks of a natural stream channel without the state engineer's approval. So approval is granted through an application process, and there's an associated processing fee. The fee schedule is shown here. It's $100 for non-commercial entities, $500 for government, and $2,000 for commercial entities. The processing time on stream alterations is around 30 days. One thing I want to mention is that we do have a joint permit process we refer to as PGP 10. This allows an applicant to receive approval for a stream alteration from the state as well as from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers through a single application process. And it's proven to be a great benefit. It just streamlines the process for the applicant. I will point out, though, it does not work for all applications, and you may find it necessary to apply to file an application both with the state and Army Corps of Engineers. If you do fail to obtain a permit before altering a stream, you may be ordered to restore the stream to its previous condition.
Everett,
and there may be other action taken. Yes, Rachel. It's Rachel.
Sorry,
correct?
we've got a question for you. They want to know what was the state code number for the Utah stream alterations. They'd missed it.
That's just fine. It is 73-3-29.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thanks.
And that was on page 121 in the book. Someone asked where that was.
Okay. I'm glad you answered that. I don't know. I don't have
There you go. Okay, sorry. Continue on. Thanks.
All right. Really lastly, in an emergency situation such as flooding, it is possible to alter a stream channel bed or bank before receiving approval from our office. In these instances, the responsible party for making those alterations needs to contact the state engineer as soon as possible, and they then need to file a stream alteration application within 2 days following the emergency. And that application then will be reviewed by our office. It may be approved as is, or there may be additional requirements imposed. And so very briefly, that is stream alterations. Are there any questions on what I covered there?
Anyone have anything else on that?
Sorry, I may have missed this. You might have said it already, but does that include installing culverts? I'm guessing so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's kind of where I'll end this, I guess. Not with questions. I'll certainly answer any others, but kind of the takeaway from this short presentation is if you're going to work on a dam, or if you're going to alter a stream channel, its bed or banks, the best thing to do is give our office a call and just talk to us about your proposed project, what you're looking at doing, and we can give you further guidance.
And
were there any other questions?
We had one in the chat from Andrea Olson, said, does this apply to intermittent streams?
Yes, it does. Sometimes I wish I had a clear answer, Andrea, for you, but the best thing to do if you're on an intermittent stream is just to call one of our stream alteration specialists and make sure. But the easy answer is yes.
Okay, and then one more from the chat said, is there any emergency situation in which the 2-day would be extended, i.e. gun lock flooding, no utilities hindered in the process?
So that's a good point. We're pretty lenient. We don't want to drag that on, but it is 2 days after the emergency has subsided. So it's not like 2 days from the beginning of the emergency. Hopefully that clarifies. But the real point is just to contact our office as soon as possible, and then we'll work with you as you deal with that. We recognize life isn't ideal during emergency situations.
Okay, and then a follow-up, she said, so a phone call would suffice.
Yeah, so the phone call would just let us know that you are working in the stream, and because of a given emergency, we will eventually require that application, but that phone call puts us on notice, and then we can work with you from there. But the actual paperwork is not required when you make that phone call during the emergency.
Okay, I think that covered it for her, so good, thank you. Anybody else have any questions for Everett?
I had a quick question. Is a stream alteration permit required in refurbishing or replacing existing structures, i.e. culverts or things of that nature?
It may be required, so it's best to call our office.
Okay.
It just gives us an opportunity to talk with you about what you're planning to do and then make a determination.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anybody else before we let Everett off the hook for the day? Okay, I think that's everything. Thank you, Everett. Appreciate your time and your presentation.
Thank you.